Now, 2015 marks the 25th anniversary of Nelson Mandela's historic release from Victor Verster Prison, now called Drakenstein Correctional Facility, where his renowned walk to freedom after 27 years of incarceration took place. Well, our journalist Nomawetu Solwandle is at the Drakenstein Correctional Facility. Let's say a very good morning to you. Nomawetu, what's going on there this morning?
Well, a very good morning to you, Lewy. Indeed, we are coming to you live from the Drakenstein Correctional Facility here in Paarl in the Western Cape, where the 27 for Freedom race is taking place this morning. Now, the 27-kilometer runners have just left. They left at about 6:30 this morning. Now, Lewy, this is no ordinary race. It's a very significant race where people from all walks of life gather here this morning to come and celebrate freedom. Now, the Drakenstein facility is well known amongst South Africans and indeed the world. This is where Nelson Mandela took his first steps after being released from incarceration after 27 years. Now, when people talk about Nelson Mandela and the 27 years that he spent in incarceration, they always think about Robben Island. In fact, Nelson Mandela spent a couple of years here before being released. Now, like I said, people from all walks of life have gathered here this morning. They've taken the primary route, which is 27 kilometers, very significant, 1 kilometer for each year that Nelson Mandela spent in incarceration. Of course, there's also the 5 kilometer and the 10-kilometer race. The 10-kilometer race is going to take place at 7 o'clock this morning. But to tell us more or give us more insight on why we're here this morning and what this race is all about, we're now joined by Mr. Delekile Glass, who is the Regional Commissioner here in the Western Cape from the Department of Correctional Services. Mr. Delekile, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Nolanda, and thank you to the listeners.
Just give us more background into why you decided that it is significant to hold something of this nature here at Drakenstein.
It is significant because we thought that we needed to annually celebrate the date that Nelson Mandela was released. As you would recall, he was released on the 11th of February. So every Saturday nearest to the 11th of February, we have this run to celebrate that day. But I think more significantly, as Madiba walked out of these gates, in his own words, he said he left all the bitterness and hatred behind and started to move forward to build a peaceful, non-racial and democratic South Africa. So we see this race as a race where we are saying to South Africans, put all the hatred, put all the anger aside and focus on positive things in life. That is why we have 27 runners will be running for 27 kilometers, others 10 and others 5. And for the 5-kilometer race, it is a race combined with a 5-kilometer fun walk. Because that's where we are saying that even those who are not runners can come and participate. It's a family affair. You would see their mothers, their kids, young kids and so on, to come and make their contribution to that peaceful day. You would recall that when Madiba came out of these gates, he was not in a car, but he chose to walk on his feet.
Talk to me more about that walk and these people that are taking part here today, retracing those steps.
Yes, these people who are here today will be retracing those steps, but I think significantly they will be doing it. They will also be recommitting themselves to the ideals that Tata Mandela lived for. They will be recommitting themselves to saying that South Africa is bigger than all of us, and each and every one of us ought to make a bit of contribution towards nation building, towards building prosperity, towards ensuring that we bring down levels of crime. Because to us, with activities like this, it assists us to take particularly young kids away from the streets to participate actively in sport. Because we believe that participation in sports is not only a healthy thing to do, but it is also a positive thing for young people to be able to stay away from drugs and the life of crime.
Now, very briefly, Mr. Delekile Glass, as we wrap up, just tell us more about the caliber, the demographics of people that have taken part in this race. Are you happy with that as we celebrate Nelson Mandela?
I'm happy with that. We have athletes who are participating here, who are registered with Athletics South Africa. We have those who are not necessarily registered athletes but who run for fun. We have all races. As you can see, it is the Rainbow Nation that Tata Madiba wanted to build. This race shows once more that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white.
Thank you very much for your time. Well, that was the Regional Commissioner here in the Western Cape from the Department of Correctional Services, Mr. Delekile Klaas, telling us about the significance of this race, why we're here this morning, the importance of Utatu Nelson Mandela and where he fought, what he fought for. Just to take you back, this is where Utatu Nelson Mandela took his first steps after being released from incarceration after 27 years. For now, it's back to you in the studio.